want to say, hands off.
Hands off!
To Trump we say,
Hands off!
to Trump's mega cronies in Congress we say,
Hands off!
and to the Chilean billionaires who want to poison the boundary waters we say,
Hands off!
thank you so much for being here. Thank you very much.
So now we're going to pick up on energy a little bit more. We've got Representative Maria Isa Perez-vega, who represents District 65B here in St. Paul. She's also a very talented performer, so please welcome her now.
What's going on, St. Paul, Minnesota? Say hands! Hands! Look, it's beautiful to be here this afternoon and let them know that Minnesota showed up, didn't we? Somos un poder. We are the power. The people have the power. Let me hear the people. As a proud representative of this District 65B of our capital city of St. Paul in the suburb of West St. Paul, I'm proud to represent all Minnesotans that are saying hands off nationally across our country, as well as in the land of my people of Boricua and Puerto Rico. And you know, they're like, hey, we know you've got some things to say, and I say, I always got something to say. Especially it's about how we're going to show the power of the people that we're not backing down, even if there's 3 and some plus months of this Elon Musk and Trump guy. We don't want any more, right? We will not be silenced, right? Always to the people, right? So, you know, it's our time to heal. We're in this together. We're not going back to what they want us to be. This is about freeing. This is about standing up to a colonial regime. And on the count of 3, let the world know that Minnesota's here by saying Minnesota on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Put your hands in. Keep their hands up. Que viva Puerto Rico libre. La gente, la raza que viva. The millionaire boys, whether they're in downtown St. Paul, Washington, D.C., or overseas trying to take away our democracy and not putting housing for people and not giving the kids a true education, we're going to keep feeding our kids. We're going to keep our books on the shelves, and we're not going to allow fascism to take away the pride of Minnesota people. Thank you.
What an act to follow! Thank you, Maria Isa Perez-vega! Minnesota! My name is Zach Lindstrom, and I'm addressing you today as a member of Minnesota 5051. And before we get on with it, just so JD Vance doesn't get mad at me, I want to extend a gigantic thank you to Indivisible Twin Cities, Women's March Minnesota, and the rest of the people at Minnesota 5051 for putting this together. This truly could not have happened without everybody together. And that includes you. And I will extend the same thanks to every volunteer, every contributor, and every single one of you for your work towards a better future. And let's talk about futures for a moment. All of our futures, because young or old, right or left, we all have a stake in the future of this country. And that means we cannot let the United States fall to oligarchy. We cannot let the United States fall to fascism. And we cannot let the United States fall to Donald Trump. What about the future of Ukraine? A sovereign nation aggressed by a dictator and his cronies, pushed to bloodshed by injustice. And now America, the country that has for so long pledged itself to being a bastion of the free world, childishly scolds them.
I can hear it.
In Russia and in Ukraine, I see what could be America and Canada. I see what could be America and Mexico, America and Denmark. Should we be content like this, enabling one dictator while enshrining another? No, it sounds like you do too. And that is why we stand for Ukraine's future. I happen to be a student at the United States. I happen to be a student at the University of Minnesota. Is anyone else here from there today? I know the green line was super packed, but I'm hearing it. Where a week ago, ICE seized Dogukan Ganaydin directly off the street. By all accounts, he is a young man, 28, studying to get his MBA. But now his entire future has been jeopardized because he was imprisoned for being an immigrant. And then afterwards, he had his visa revoked. Afterwards. What the hell?
Very nice.
But I think we all remember that the nation we've all pledged allegiance to promises liberty and justice for who? For who? And justice for all. We are here to reclaim the freedoms that this administration has stripped away. Because this real fight is not against our neighbor, but against a government that is abducting our people off the streets.
I am Representative Emma Greenman, and I am joined by my amazing colleagues, the DFLers in the Minnesota legislature surrounding me. I am a voting rights lawyer who has been on the front lines of this battle to defend our democracy. And I don't have to tell you, we have a fight on our hands. They are trying to rig a system in broad daylight in front of our very eyes. A government that is being corrupted by concentrated wealth, consolidated power, dangerous authoritarians. And I don't know about you, but it's really pissing me off. But today is about turning our anger into action. Because that is not democracy. This is what democracy looks like. This is the multiracial, multi-generational, gender-inclusive democracy that we showed up here for today, that we have been fighting our whole lives for. It is that we all do better when we all do better politics that we in Minnesota know a little something about. And we are ready to fight for it, aren't we? We are ready to fight for our freedom to vote. We are ready to fight for our freedom to love who we love and be who we are. We are ready to fight for a government of, by, and for the people, not corporations of the ultra-wealthy. And the thing is, there are more of us than there are of them. But because they can't win our votes, and Wisconsin showed them they can't buy our votes, they are trying to take away our vote. That's what the Trump, MAGA, SAVE Act executive orders are all about silencing voters, about seizing power, and about taking away our freedom to choose our own leaders. And it is terrifying. And that's what they want. They want us to be afraid. They want us to be scared. They want us to retreat in fear and despair. And fear is contagious. but so is courage. And we are courageous. We are not powerless. And we must use the power we have wherever we have it. In our communities, our churches, our synagogues, our mosques, in our unions and universities, our VSOs, our book clubs, and even our pickleball teams. In the halls of our state government. And we will use all that power we have to fight for our neighbors, for our trans neighbors, our immigrant neighbors, our BIPOC neighbors, our neighbors with disabilities, and anyone in our community that Trump and Musk come for. Because in our country, the people have the power, and they have to come through us first. Friends, this is what democracy looks like. We will march and rally and protest because this is what democracy looks like. We will knock on doors, engage our neighbors, and organize, organize, organize. Looks like. Minnesota, we know how to do this. So let's send a message to Trump and Musk and the MAGA crew in DC and also the MAGA crew here in Minnesota that this is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show them what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show them what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show them what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. And friends, when we get through this, and we will be forged in this battle. We will be stronger and ready to build that brighter future that we all know is there and on the other side. Because that is the democracy we believe in, and that is a democracy worth fighting for, and we will fight and win together.
My name is Melvin Carter, and I serve as mayor of the city of St. Paul. And I just wanted to welcome you to a city where immigrants are welcome. I want to welcome you to a city where trans youth are protected. I want to welcome you to a city where women make their own decisions about their health care. A city where women make a whole lot of decisions about policy too. And I want to welcome you to a city where we all have a seat at the table. You know, listen, I won't take the whole time to brag on St. Paul. But we're a community that starts every child born in our city with a college savings account. We're a community that works hard to make sure all of our neighbors have safe housing. We're a community that has progressed on public safety, not through hateful rhetoric, but by taking better care of one another. And I say all of that just to say that what we're working on in St. Paul is to show what it looks like to make policy, to make finance decisions, to make decisions in the halls of government that are based on a belief in and a love for all of the people. Are you angry? I gotta admit, I'm a little angry too. And that's because that work that we're doing, and let me tell you, that work that we're doing on public safety is more important today than it ever has been, because we're working to prevent a repeat of one of the worst historic surges in homicides that we saw in the first Trump administration. We have urgent work to do. And you know, that work ends up getting impacted by some of the messages that we hear out of Washington, D.C. Some of the messages that we hear even in this building that tries to convince us that each other is what's wrong with our country. That each other is what's wrong with our state. That each other is what's wrong with our city. That our diversity is a bad thing. That people who look different and talk different and worship different are a threat. Just last month, the White House of the United States of America sent out a list of people who they absurdly called sick and said that this list of people absurdly want rapists and murderers to roam free in their communities. And that just is inaccurate. And we know that the mistake of harmful rhetoric on immigration, harmful rhetoric on public safety actually makes us all less safe. They were saying that we were sick because we said there is absolutely no way in St. Paul and in Minneapolis and cities across our country, there's absolutely no way that we're going to allow our police officers to be co-opted as federal immigration agents. And you know they sent us a press release. We sent them back a lawsuit. Because we ain't gonna let nobody separate us from our neighbors. We're not gonna let nobody tell us that diversity is a threat. We ain't gonna let nobody stand in the way of our work to build a city, a state, a country that works for all of us. They threatened to pull our city's federal funding. They threatened to pull the dollars that we use to fund police officers to help us out in our community. They threatened to pull the dollars that we use for youth jobs in our community. They threatened to pull the dollars that we're using to make sure that children don't have to drink lead in their water. But let me tell you, the folks who threw tea into the sea wouldn't allow taxation without representation, and neither will we. So I'm angry. But let me tell you this. I've learned how true it is. Martin Luther King's words, that hate can't drive out hate. That only love can do that. We got a fight in front of us. We got to fight right now. But let me tell you, as I go fight, I am looking for, and I need you to find, something more powerful than hatred, something more powerful than anger to fuel your tank. I'm angry, and I know that you are too. But my anger for what I hear is coming out of Washington, D.C. is small compared to my love for the people who live in this community. Compared to my belief in the children growing up in our state today. Compared to the hope that I feel when we all come together and say, we shall overcome, 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 we shall overcome. Martin Luther King said, the moral arc of the universe is long, but it bends toward justice. I believe that's true, but guess what I've learned? Representative, it doesn't bend itself. We are responsible for being the benders. So listen, somebody asked me what I had to say to Donald Trump. I got a lot to say to Donald Trump, but guess what? I don't think he's listening to me. But while you are, let me just ask you to do something. We're going to fight everywhere we can. We're going to fight in the halls of government, aren't we? Yes! We're going to fight in the courts, aren't we? Yes! And we're going to fight every time we get a chance to vote, aren't we? Yes! But look, we have to practice what it means to fight with love. We have to practice what it means to not let people who are bringing hate to us lure us into the trap of hating them. We have to practice what it means to fight with love, to restore decency in our country. And it starts with every interaction. So my challenge to you, my homework for you, as I see somebody holding up the "Your time is up" sign. Listen, I need you here supporting the legislators who are fighting on our behalf. I need you standing up behind our Attorney General when he files a lawsuit on our behalf. I need you making sure every single one of our neighbors shows up to the polls when it's time to vote. But do me this favor. In the grocery store, and in the hardware store, and in your family, and at school, and at work, and everywhere you go, wear the cloak of decency. And when you meet somebody who disagrees with you, be decent to them. When you meet somebody who doesn't like you, be decent to them. When you meet somebody who's pushing policies that you don't believe in, be decent to them. Because the thing that will damage us the most is if we lose that just core understanding that we have more in common than the things that separate us. And if we fall for hate, then hate will win. So there's a whole lot of things that I want this administration to keep their hands off of. But the bottom line ends with the beginning. The words that started our country's journey. We the people. We the people. We the people. We the people. The thing that makes America America is the word we. And let me tell you, I've learned that this fight isn't just about right versus left. This fight isn't about blue versus red. This fight that I'm asking you to fight is a fight between those who want to take that powerful word "we" and build a wall around it to keep anyone else out, and those of us who want to take that powerful word "we" and build bridges to bring as many people as we can in.
It's hard to find it.
No matter how many walls they build, I'm going to keep on building bridges, and I need you too. Thank you for being here. Thank you for restoring decency. Thank you for voting. Thank you for volunteering. Thank you for making sure that they're here. That not only are we going to tell them to take their hands off our rights, off our voting rights, off our veterans, off our Medicare, off our unions and jobs, off of our public lands, but they don't have the reach. They don't have long enough arms to put their hands on our love for one another. I love you and I thank you for being here.
Do you hear the people singing a song of angry ones? It is the music of the people who will not be slaves again. When the beating of your heart and the beating of your drums, there is a life about to start tomorrow comes. Do you hear the people sing? Everyone, a song of angry ones. It is the music of the people who will not be slaves again. When the beating of your heart echoes the beating of the drums, there is a life about to start when tomorrow comes. Do you hear the people singing a song of angry ones? It is the music of a people who will not be slaves again. When the beating of your heart echoes the beating of your drums, there is a life about